Take a look. Activists in New York City outraged after Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg dismissed charges against 31 anti-Israeli protesters who took over that building at Columbia University in April. Listen to this.
Bragg, Bragg, punish crime, make sure criminals do their time. Bragg, Bragg, punish crime, make sure criminals do their time.
Well, one of those protesters in the crowd is calling out the dangerous precedent. Jewish New York native and Harvard grad Shabbos Kestenbaum joins us live.
Thanks,
Good to have you, Shabbos. You're furious at Alvin Bragg. Why?
You know, I find it shocking that in order to receive equity, justice, and the rule of law, we have to beg our own district attorney to prosecute crime. I am old enough to remember where just a month ago he prosecuted and broke hundreds of years of precedent to prosecute a former president of the United States, saying that no one is above the law. And then in the same breath says that 31 students who took maintenance workers hostages, who vandalized property, who intimidated, bullied, and harassed Jewish students, he's not going to prosecute them. So the double standard is shocking.
Well, he said, his office said, Shabbos, you know, there's not a lot of evidence with people screwed with the cameras, and a lot of the people didn't have criminal records, so let them walk.
Well, first of all, they arrested these students in the very room that they were trespassing in, so don't give me that BS.
Red-handed.
Caught red-handed. That's number one. And number two, if that is the case, that you're not able to identify them because of the masks, then it should be obvious to any politician or to any university that anytime there's an anti-Semitic riot or protest, you cannot wear masks. In the same vein that we did not allow mask wearing to combat the KKK, anti-democratic, anti-Western, anti-Semitic students who want to violate the law use masks to conceal their identity and escape any accountability from the law.
Sure, exactly. But you know, this is a presidential election year, and suddenly presidential politics seems to be everywhere, including in the Hamas-Israel conflict.
Yeah. I've been a registered Democrat since the day I turned 18. I don't want to abandon the Democratic Party, but they very clearly want to abandon me. And I can't understand Jewish Americans who have supported the Democratic Party historically. Why are we being treated this way? Why the double standards? Why the inaction? And it's not just New York City. We saw these anti-Semitic riots yesterday in L.A. And Joe Biden, who is in charge of the Department of Justice, he can investigate these crimes. He can crack down on anti-Semitism and those who are violating the law. But there's either this inability or unwillingness to protect Jewish Americans.
And we're looking at some of the activities in L.A. on Sunday. It was actually a real estate event where it was like real estate in the Holy Lands, and it became a straight-up hate crime. Yeah. When I look at it, it's like they're obviously targeting those people because they're Jewish.
Yeah. So this is the first time in my life that I've ever seen a place of worship, of Jewish worship, being targeted specifically because these are Jews who are worshiping their religion. And let me just add, there are currently 0 Jews living in Jenin, in Nablus, in Ramallah, in the entirety of the Gaza Strip. But that does not elicit outrage. But when Jews want to legally purchase land in their ancestral homeland, all of a sudden that animates an anti-Semitic mob who feel that they have the right to intimidate, bully, harass, and to threaten and to exert physical violence on Jewish people.
Exit question for you, Shabbos. November, first Tuesday. Who are you going to vote for? You said you were a lifelong Democrat.
I've been a lifelong Democrat, but as I said, I think the party has abandoned me. And it's unfortunate because I believe in many liberal and progressive values, but it seems like they don't believe in me and they don't believe in Jewish Americans. And I want Joe Biden to understand that whoever is advising him, wherever he's getting his policies from, it's not working. It's disastrous. And November will be very difficult for me and many, many constituents who are Jewish Americans as well.
All right. Shabbos, thank you very much for coming in after a busy day you had yesterday.
Thanks.
All right. I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.